Hey everybody, I'm Josh.
And I'm Zane. Some people call us the Merva Brothers.
And some people call us things that we can't repeat here right now. So,
And we don't really talk to those people very much.
no, we don't like those people.
Welcome to GM Joyride, a podcast show about General Motors and the new products coming out, our opinions on them, our experiences, vehicles we've driven, and basically having fun talking about GM and all of its associated brands.
Yeah, I'm super excited to be here. This is obviously our first show. As you can see, we're in the Banks Chevrolet studios in Concord, New Hampshire. And yeah, let's go. Let's see how this turns out.
Yeah, sounds good to me. So why are we here? Why the two of us? I mean, so Josh and I run a website called GM-Trucks.com. We've been around for 23 years covering the GM truck, SUV, and car landscape. Josh and I are also members of the New England Motor Press Association, which means that we've driven, about 1,500
Maybe even more, yeah.
Yeah, 1,500-ish, 2,000-ish cars in the past 20 years or so.
A lot of them are General Motors trucks, SUVs, crossovers, everything.
And they're competitors. So
Yep.
we have a lot of knowledge to draw on, and we really can't wait to share that with you. So with that said,
Yeah.
I think I see the general manager coming over to stop the filming already. They are already regretting.
Can you believe they gave us a show?
I don't think so, man. This is kind of freaky.
So what do you want to talk about?
Well, I was looking over GM sales numbers that just came out at the end of the year, and a few things really kind of struck me. I mean, we kind of already know that the Silverado is the best-selling vehicle that not only Chevy makes, but GM makes. How many Silverados do you think they sold in 2023?
400,000?
Wrong.
More?
550,000 Silverados. Now, that's between 1500s and the HDs. If you're only talking about the light-duty 1500s, it's in the 300s or so, which is still an incredibly large amount of vehicles. I feel like we should be getting more visitors to our website.
Yeah.
We're missing out on a core audience.
We're clearly
here.
doing something wrong.
But do you know what the second best-selling vehicle that not only Chevy sells, but that General Motors entirely produces?
The Tahoe?
You might think so, but you're wrong. Another
Really?
guess?
The Traverse?
Close. It's actually the Equinox.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, they sold 212,000 Equinoxes in 2023. And so you think of Chevy and trucks and the Silverado and them selling a lot, and 550,000 trucks is a lot. But they actually sell more crossovers than SUVs. They sold
when you combine them all,
when
all
you
the
combine
crossovers?
all of them together, there's way more crossovers than SUVs sold in the 700,000 range in 2023.
Wow, that's a lot of vehicles.
Yeah. Now, obviously, you've got Silverado is just a few models, the 1500, the 2500 HD, the 3500 HD. Whereas when you talk about SUVs and crossovers, you've got the Trailblazer, the Blazer,
there's
the
more of
Equinox,
them,
the Traverse, the Tahoe, the Suburban. There's a little bit wider of a range of models to choose from, but it's a very important part of Chevy's lineup.
And there's a lot of changes coming in the crossover.
Yeah, so if it's that important, you would think they'd be dedicating a lot of time to making these products competitive and up to date, and in fact, they are.
Yeah. So some refreshes that we're going to talk about today then, I guess, right?
Yeah, so let's look back a little bit. I mean, starting off just in the last year, we've had 3 of those models we listed that have gotten major changes or mild changes, depending on how you look at it. The Trailblazer and the Blazer have both gotten new front ends, some added features, different colors.
Yep.
But the Trax alone is completely brand new for 2023.
I love that thing when we drove it.
Yeah, we drove one last year. We've talked to some of our colleagues in the automotive industry. Everybody has a really good opinion of that vehicle. It's quite the value.
Yep, and you get the Buick option as well that is beautiful.
The Invista.
The Invista costs a little bit more money, but I'm actually considering getting one of those for my wife. We love it so much, so yeah.
It's the value to feature standpoint, I think, on those two models is out of this world. It's better than...
They have a home run there, I think.
Better than anything GM has done in the last, 10, 20 years in terms of value to the package. Yeah. And it's a standout among pretty much the entire segment.
So so we got some refreshes other than the tracks coming up.
Yeah, so looking forward, we've still got a few more vehicles here, and I guess let's you want to go over a few of them here?
Yeah, sure. Let's start with the Traverse, the 2024 Traverse. We're waiting for some pricing to come out and some EPA numbers on the mileage, but let's start with the trims. Basically, they are changing the layout of the trim. So normally you have, the outgoing model, you have the LT, the RS, and the Premier. However, now we're going to have the LS, the LT, the RS, and the Z71, which is awesome. Yeah, I'm excited about that. So I think we should definitely talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I see the Z71 package as being something that's going to be very popular here in New England, where we're recording this
look at the weather we drove in this morning.
Yeah, we got 2 inches of snow last night. The roads are covered in ice, and but does that actually? So what's in the Z71 package? Is it actually something useful?
I don't know. Let's discuss.
You don't know? What are you talking about? Why are you here?
No, I do know. It just so it turns out actually, it's not just a performance or an appearance package.
Okay.
So you actually get.
So people are familiar with Z71 in like the Silverado and other. I think the Tahoe has had a Z71 package, and typically it's slightly better off-road kind of features, maybe some skid plates, a higher capacity air filter, some different tires. How does that Z71 package?
Well, immediately we've got
to the Traverse,
an inch more ground clearance
in the Traverse, another inch.
In the Traverse, which is a lot for the Traverse, and we also have the 18-inch off-road rims on that and package.
So I would assume better tires.
Yep, off-road tires.
Okay.
Also very cool is they actually changed up the grille in the front fascia to allow for a better off-road approach angle. So
so they're actually going pretty deep into making this better for when you go off the pavement and down trails. Maybe you're taking a canoe down a little tiny trail.
Are you going to take it down Moab? I don't know.
I doubt it.
Maybe
not.
We would like to try.
GM, if you're watching, we would be glad to be sponsored for the trail.
We're going to take a Traverse Z71 on the Mint 400. So, but yeah, they actually did a really good job, I think, of making it more capable off-road. So.
Well, and you can joke at an inch extra clearance, but there's a lot of situations where another inch of ground clearance combined with better tires, and does it have all-wheel drive too?
So, it doesn't have four-wheel drive. It has all-wheel drive.
Okay.
But what's cool about the all-wheel drive is it's a twin clutch system. So that should be giving us better shifts and
does that mean?
Like allow you to handle better off-road and divert the power more to different wheels.
It can control the power output from front to rear and move the power around depending on what wheels are gripping and slipping.
And when you combine that with the drive modes that you get in the Z71 model and being able to select off-road and for it to be, the computer to be programmed differently, you're going to have a much better off-road experience than the base model.
All those, the 1 inch of ground clearance, the all-wheel drive system,
and you got
the tires, the front fascia. That's actually a good package there.
And different dampers as well, too.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So they really outdid themselves on that. I'm excited about it. And
that's going to be so popular.
Yeah, they're going to sell a lot of them for sure.
Great. Does the engine change at all with the Traverse in 2024?
So actually, it does. Yeah.
Are they getting rid of the 3.6 liter then?
They are.
Don't tell me it's a 4-cylinder.
It's a 4-cylinder.
Okay. Well, so it probably has less power, right, than the 3.6?
Actually, that's where you're completely wrong.
Really?
Yep. So actually, we get an extra boost of horsepower here. Yeah, we're going to the 2.5 liter 4-cylinder. The outgoing 3.6 liter made 310 horsepower. The new 4-cylinder makes 315 horsepower. So you got a 5 horsepower bump. It
can't
crazy.
have as much torque though. The 3.6
actually,
is really. Oh, come on! I'm wrong again.
You are so wrong, man. So the outgoing 3.6 liter has 266 pound-feet of torque, but the new 2.5 4-cylinder actually makes 317 pound-feet of torque.
Okay.
So yeah, it's a huge boost in torque, which should make for a much better more drivable, better low speeds.
That's really going to be. I mean, I'm interested to try out that 2.5 liter.
Yeah.
I love the 3.6 liter V6. My wife's Buick Enclave has it, and it is such a great engine for that vehicle. You would not think that a 3-row crossover would be like lively to drive and quick, and you can pass people and have a lot of low end torque. But it's just such a good engine, and it's bulletproof.
Yeah. So I mean, there's probably a lot of people that are disappointed, but I guess we're excited to try out the new engine. It's an all new engine. It's not on anything.
Well, so
else
maybe in that vein, we've driven the 2.7 liter that's available in the Silverado.
Yep.
And I know a lot of people might not be happy at a turbocharged 4-cylinder in a full-size truck, but that engine was really impressive.
Yeah.
I would have to assume that GM is going to take a lot of the things that they've learned from that engine and apply them to the 2.5.
Yeah, and I'm excited to try it. I hope that I'm assuming that the mileage is going to be better and improved, and I know that's probably one of the the factors in going with that engine choice. But
so if the 2.5 can make the 3.6 as irrelevant as the 2.7 made the 5.3 liter V8, then we're actually probably going to be in a pretty good spot with that.
I think when we get a chance to drive that vehicle with that engine, I think it'll make a good episode to do on the show and to share with our viewers.
Yeah, we'll definitely come and talk about it.
Because I know a lot of people are going to be interested in that. But
and that shouldn't actually be very long. They've already started producing the 2024 Traverse, which is why we're talking about it first.
Yeah,
and
but we don't know pricing, or there's a lot of information
pricing,
we don't know about it yet. So
or fuel economy, but it should be on the dealership lots, I'm assuming within the next few months.
Yeah.
So in this spring, if this is something that people are interested in, definitely head down to your Chevy dealer or Banks Chevrolet, and I'm sure they'd be happy to let you sit in one, take it for a test drive, and otherwise talk about what they could do to get you into one, because it's a pretty nice upgrade.
Yeah, and look for us to take it for a spin, take it for a joyride on a future episode of GM Joyride. So if they don't cancel us.
We've kind of talked about the exterior of it. Have they updated the interior on the Traverse at all?
Yeah, actually, there's a lot going on. I think that's one of the main things that what should excite the buyers is they've done a whole refresh on the interior of these vehicles. So one of the main things is the infotainment system, and you're talking about a 17-inch huge infotainment center.
Wow. And I think I read that the digital gauge cluster is 11 inches in itself, so that's like 28 inches of digital
2.5 feet of screen in your vehicle. Yeah, and it goes from in front of the driver, and it kind of goes to the center console, and I just prefer that style completely.
It looks really nice.
Yeah, just slapping a iPad in the center. I think it looks much more integrated. It's more ergonomic. It's where you're looking. Everything feels right where you want it to be. Yep.
All right, so we've gone over the Traverse. Up next is a vehicle that I had a chance to fly out to Detroit and see in September before the general public got a chance, and that is the 2025 Tahoe and Suburban. Yep. It is not completely new as the same way that the Traverse is, but it's getting one heck of a makeover. So let's talk about that for a second.
Yeah, no, I mean, again, it's not a completely new platform at all, but they're doing a mid-cycle refresh on the styling of it. Mm-hmm. They are going to make some adjustments to the interior, a part of
It'll be very similar to the Traverse inside.
Yeah, they're trying to make things a lot more congruent between the models, so that when you get in one vehicle and then you get in the other, at least it looks mostly like the same vehicle. The exciting thing about the Tahoe and Suburban is that they're going to be using real wood on the interier. So I'm excited.
Is that for all the models or just?
I think it's just in the high country.
Just in the high. So they're taking the high country up an additional.
Yeah, they're trying to really make it that much nicer, which.
Yeah, and so when I was there, another feature of the high country that's worth noting is 24-inch wheels. It's going to have its own grille, its own 24-inch wheels. It'll come with magnetic ride control and an air ride suspension.
Nice.
It is going to be like the ultimate highway cruiser, no doubt. It's amazing.
Yeah, they're kind of blurring the line a little bit between the Escalade and the Tahoe and Suburban a little bit more, which
is awesome.
Hey, I'm here for it.
Yeah, it's great. So the styling is going to be a little bit different.
Yeah.
It's adapting more of that C-shaped daytime running lights in the front. which gives it more of a chunky kind of truckish look on the front end. But as you move around the vehicle, there's less actual badging that they're putting on it.
Oh, really?
So
Okay.
it's smoother, a little more sleek looking, especially in the rear. And they're taking more time to differentiate the different trim levels. So, for example, we're also getting a Z71 in the Tahoe. And like the Traverse, and when I say Tahoe, I mean Tahoe and Suburban, same kind of thing. The Z71 package will have its own unique tires, rims, and front and rear fascia for better ground clearance in it.
Do you get red tow hooks?
Yes, you
With
do.
the Z71, right?
Yes, you do, because as we both know, are you really going off-roading if you don't have red tow hooks?
We didn't mention, though, actually, with the Z71 on the Traverse, you get the red tow hooks. So
Yes.
that's the full.
Yes.
How did we miss that? That was like the most important thing to mention.
So there is some congruency between the Z71 in the Traverse and the Tahoe Suburban. They're going to have that unique fascias, more ground clearance, specific off-road tires, and red tow hooks.
Gotta love the red tow hooks.
So the interior, yes, the interior is going to be a lot like the Traverse.
Yeah.
It will also have the 17-inch infotainment system, or infotainment screen with Google built in, along with the 11.1-inch digital gauge cluster as well.
Nice. So yeah, again, the congruency between the models, like you get it in the Traverse, you're also going to get into the Suburban and Tahoe and see a very, very similar infotainment screen and driver's gauge cluster. So that's awesome.
What is the trim lineup looking for?
It hasn't really changed.
Okay.
It's pretty much the same. But you're now going to be able to get Super Cruise on, I think.
It has actually been an option, but it's
Okay.
going to be on, I think, all the trim levels.
Yeah,
is the
you
big
could only
news.
get it on the High Country before, I believe, and now you can get it on all of them, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
And again, the Traverse, Super Cruise on the Traverse as well.
Oh, no way, really?
Yep.
Wow,
Yeah,
we're
so GM is really starting to roll out Super Cruise, which we've had a lot of experience with. We actually
coming in this morning, we were able to use it a little bit, and the system's amazing. I mean, we should probably do a whole show talking about Super Cruise. They literally just released 2 days ago another 300 miles of road.
they announced that they're rolling out another
300,000 miles.
350,000 miles.
Yeah, exactly.
And that most of those additional miles are 2-lane roads, not even highways.
Yeah, so they're definitely putting a lot of time and research into the Super Cruise system and pushing it out to more trims, more models, and that's exciting for sure.
Yeah, we've driven probably over 1,000 miles on Super Cruise, especially on our Hummer EV, and we've seen it mature. Updates come out, more roads are added. It gets better. It drives better each time an update comes out.
Yeah, I was pretty dubious of the system. I'm always nervous about, giving computers more control over aspects of our life.
When you've learned how to drive your entire life by holding
let go of the steering
do
wheel.
not let go of the steering wheel. And now this thing's saying it's okay to let go of the steering wheel.
Are you
It's
sure?
hard. It's really hard to kind of get rid of those butterflies in your stomach that are like, I shouldn't be doing this.
And then like 10 miles down the road, you're like completely comfortable and just kind of like
sipping on your coffee.
It makes a big difference. You wouldn't think it would make such a big difference, but it's nice to be able to, I don't know, take your hands off the steering wheel and, I don't know, relax your shoulders, scratch your back, take a sip of your coffee. Obviously, with this system, you can't completely take your eyes off the road.
Yeah, it has a It does have a camera that is looking at your face, making sure you're paying attention.
Yeah,
you can't just wear your Apple Vision Pro down the road, or
people will definitely be trying though. But the system, you're saying it'll actually shut off, and
it will not let that happen.
Yeah. Well, people will try, I'm sure.
Yeah, they probably will.
That's why they have to build it into the system.
So it's exciting that they're offering this in more vehicles.
Yeah, if you guys would like to see us talk more about Super Cruise and maybe even see us using the system in our Hummer EV, let us know, and maybe we'll turn that into a whole episode because it's been a wild ride watching it from when it was first released to now that they've updated the system open up hundreds of thousands of miles of more road, and it works better. And we've been kind of the crash test dummies, I guess, or the beta testers.
They don't want us to use that word.
But
But that's what we love to do.
Yeah,
You and I love trying things out from the inception of this is like barely working, and then following it through to it's perfected and available on all these different models.
And as they're getting better, to see it get rolled out to vehicles like the Traverse and other vehicles, other trims, and
it's cool.
Great.
It's cool.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people who may be nervous about it are going to really enjoy using it once they get a chance to.
Yep.
All right, so engine-wise with the Tahoe and the Suburban, one thing I noted is that there are really not very many changes. You're still going to have the 5.3 liter as the base engine.
Yep.
Great engine. Everybody loves it. It's perfect for those vehicles. But if that's not really up your alley and you want a little bit more performance or a little bit better fuel economy, there are two more options, and that is the 6.2 liter.
Yep.
And the 3 liter Duramax diesel, which again, all these, like, I've never seen 3 engines that are so well received in one package. GM has really created this trifecta of amazing V8s and diesel engines for people to choose from.
Yeah, depending on what you're going to end up using your vehicle for, one of these engine choices are going to fit that bill for sure.
Exactly. So while the 5.3 liter and the 6.2 are not really changed in terms of horsepower, I know the 6.2 is around 420 horsepower, 460 pound-feet of torque. The 3 liter does get a nice little boost. It is going to be upgraded to the same 3 liter Duramax that's in the full-size trucks right now, and that means over 300 horsepower.
Yeah, I think 305.
305, 310-ish or so, and then on the upper end of the 400s, 475 or something for pound-feet of torque.
You guys that are out there towing with these engines are going to love that.
Yeah, so that's
power.
why somebody would choose the 3 liter is they are going to be towing a lot, or they're going to be doing long road trips on the highway. Actually, you and I did a video on fuel economy in a Suburban with the 3 liter Duramax, and we got 30 miles to the gallon.
I couldn't believe that. That's amazing.
So when we first started out planning that video, our idea was, wow, wouldn't it be great if we could get like high 20s? That would be the best video to show people how great it did. And then we got behind the wheel, and the MPG just kept going up and up and up and up. And before we knew it, we were doing 30 miles to the gallon, just driving around New Hampshire.
Yeah.
It was incredible.
The 3.0 is an amazing engine. And if you're towing or, like you said, doing a lot of highway miles, you definitely want to check that out. We also have driven a lot with the 6.2, and we love that.
Our ZR2 has a 6.2, and it's great.
It's fast, and
it's basically the Corvette engine
is
in a truck.
Fun engine choice. So if you don't care as much about fuel economy and towing, and you're a little more interested in having fun like we like to do, then the 6.2 is definitely an awesome.
That's a good choice as well.
So.
What else is?
So we kind of, skipped over the remote connected camera system.
Oh yeah, that is the big feature for these vehicles.
I think it's going to make a lot of waves. I mean, we see a lot of videos of Tesla owners posting their car getting keyed,
driving down the road and getting in an accident.
Yeah.
They basically have a dash camera built into their car at all times that is saving video on all of the cameras positioned around the vehicle, and they can recall them. And it's just really cool. And I know I've been like, why can't GM has all these cameras in a vehicle. Why can't we get some similar system?
And now we can.
That's
and
awesome.
Not only that, but you're going to be able to view it from your phone through your My Chevrolet or My GMC app, which is awesome. You'll be able to view it from anywhere in the world, right?
Yep, just pull it right up and look at it.
Yep.
It's also, from what I remember them telling me, it is it will automatically record to the cloud at all times, and if you get in an accident, it'll save the footage automatically. And you can literally, like you said, pull up your My Chevy app and see what your car is doing from anywhere in the world, whether it's driving down the highway, parked in a parking lot,
Yep.
in your garage, wherever you want. You can check on any of the outside cameras and the new inside camera. So you can see what's going on the inside as well.
It's I'm not gonna lie. It sounds a little creepy. I want you to expand upon maybe some of the. Is this a feature that is just going to run automatically, or how does that work?
Well, I know GM engineers were really concerned about privacy and safety. And one of the things they explained to me when I went and took a look at these vehicles in the fall was that the connected camera option will not be turned on when it gets delivered. It's something that you were going to have to either work with your dealership or talk to OnStar or use your app to turn on yourself. They were really concerned about this not just being some feature that is just running all the time and intruding on people's privacy. The customer will have the ultimate control whether it's on and working and whether it's turned on or off or available.
You know who I feel bad for?
Let me guess.
Yeah. Any new drivers, 16-year-old through 18, or you're just brand new, and now you got enough to worry about, right? I mean,
and now your parents can
now they can literally
down the road.
Check in on their phone and see what you're up to. But I mean, as a parent, you probably can see how that would be.
I would love it.
Yeah,
I know my kid would.
You're a few years away from JJ driving.
Yeah, as Zane as a teenager learning how to drive would be my worst nightmare. But as Zane as a parent, it's like now I would feel actually more comfortable giving them the Tahoe to go out and drive if I had one or whatever. I'm assuming this feature is going to come into the entire Chevy lineup and GM lineup as time goes on.
I hope so. Yeah.
They've already got the cameras in a lot of these vehicles. Adding the hardware isn't going to be too hard. So, I mean, from a teenager learning to drive standpoint, I would be horrified. But like I said, as a parent,
good, right?
It's amazing. Let's do this.
Keep them honest.
Let's do this right now.
Yeah. Well, I am excited for sure about that system. I mean, in a world where everything is being recorded in cameras, it's nice to have that power in your pocket, and when you're parking your vehicle in places that maybe you don't trust, or you're worried about what's going to happen, you leave it in the airport parking lot while you go on a cruise, for instance.
Yep,
yeah, you'll be able to check in and know that it's okay, or if somebody did break in, they're going to be recorded doing that. So I think it's a good feature from a lot of different standpoints, and we'll probably do a deep dive on that system when we get our hands on it.
As you can tell, there is not a shortage of things for us to talk about, and we really can't wait until we get.
Please don't cancel.
Yeah, please don't cancel us. We swear we can do more episodes. We have a lot of stuff to talk about, and we really can't wait to share it with everybody.
Yeah.
Our thoughts on it all.
But so we've covered the Traverse, the 2024 Traverse.
You're also forgetting something though with the Tahoe.
Uh-oh.
And this was another feature that, along with the connected camera system, dives into Chevy's commitment for safety. I know we've heard of those terrible situations where new parents have either forgotten their kid in the back seat, or maybe they forgot their dog is back there. And we don't want to dive and bring the mood down too much.
There's a lot of bad parents out there, and this is on you. You brought this up.
There's a lot of you don't have a kid. There's a lot of tired parents out there.
Yeah, true.
People don't do this stuff on purpose.
Yeah.
It is always, I would say, by mistake. But Chevy has a new feature with the Tahoe and the Suburban that will help reduce these mistakes. And even if this only helps in one situation, this is still a very good thing. And that is a interior movement and breathing sensor. And it's going to be sensitive enough that it'll be able to detect a baby breathing in the back seat.
Wow.
And will alert you on your phone.
Crazy, man.
I mean, there's already a rear seat reminder, but this will just go one step further to let you know, hey, there is something breathing in your car.
I feel like the rear
you
seat,
should go check it out.
The reminders are great, but then just like anything else, we have so many, things dinging at us and notifying us. It's easy to delete things from our, our vision and what we're doing on a day-to-day basis. I just feel like this is the logical next step that is going to take it from, oh, hey, don't forget to look in the backseat of your car, to like, hey, you left your kid in the car, and it's going to save lives. Yeah. And that's awesome.
Like I said, even if it's only one one parent accidentally gets out of the car and forgot to bring their kid with them or their dog with them, or even it will be technology and investment well spent on GM's part.
Yeah.
All right. So why don't we then bring this back to like where we started in the beginning, talking about the Equinox. And the reason this is last is because this vehicle is the one that is going to come out after the Tahoe and after the Traverse.
In 2025.
It's a 2025 model, but you'll start seeing them, I think, show up in dealership lots at the end of calendar year 2024.
Okay.
So more information in this summer and this fall will start coming out about the Equinox. But like the Traverse, this thing is a completely redesigned model. From the outside to the inside, we're getting a new look, new interior, all of the improvements that we started talking about with the infotainment systems, those all kind of bleed over into the Equinox, which is amazing because, you know, for a vehicle they sell so many of, to start putting these premium, features and premium infotainment systems and Google built in, and I think
it's not the, so we are getting the larger infotainment system.
Yeah.
All the apps and everything. But
it's not it can't be the same size.
Yeah, it's not the 17-inch one. So it's actually going to be a smaller version of the same system. It's going to be like
11.3 or something.
Yeah, which is good.
Because if you put the 17 in, it would stretch.
It'd be like the whole
the whole dash pillar to pillar. And that's an Escalade thing.
Yeah. So we got the LT, the RS, and the active models with the Equinox. And,
okay. An active, from what I was reading, it kind of sounds like a Z71 Lite.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. I mean, so whereas the Z71 is definitely about performance and getting off-road, the active model, it kind of seems more like it's more of an appearance package.
It seems like it has different tires, different dampers, but not really like there's no more added ground clearance.
No,
there's no different front and rear fascias for that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
it's more designed, I think, for people who live in the city but want to know they can go down a dirt road and still
look good doing it, because you get the two-tone colors,
snowstorm kind of stuff.
You get the two-tone color package, and it comes with more aggressive styling. So, if that seems like something you're interested in, check out the active model. The Equinox is already going to be 2.3 inches wider, which is really great. You're going to get a little bit more cargo in the process of that. It's going to handle differently and better because it's wider. So. The Equinox is definitely, it's not just the interior that's getting a remodel. It's definitely the whole package.
Yeah, and Chevy's talking about the exterior redesign as more truck inspired. You're going to note that the exterior looks a little more angular, more boxy. It's going to have bigger daytime running lights on it.
They're bringing
LED headlights, LED
full
taillights,
LED,
full
everything,
LED everywhere.
Which is awesome.
Very high tech looking, but it's going to carry more of that Silverado-ish, truck-ish feel to it.
Yeah, they're bringing a lot of the Silverado styling and more of the aggressive truck styling into the Equinox. So.
Generally Chevy's been a little conservative with the styling of the Equinox to appeal to a wide audience. I'm really interested in what people who either own a current generation or are considering an Equinox right now. What do you think about the new 2025 model? Do you like its styling better? Do you think it's better or worse than the current model?
Do you see the Silverado design elements coming into the Equinox? Does it look more trucky to you than the outgoing model?
Is that a good thing to you?
Yeah, do you like that? Let us know.
Yeah. It's also going to have all-wheel drive, just like the current models. Okay. But the engine, this is the one thing that isn't changing. It's still going to be the same 1.5-liter turbocharged four-cylinder that makes 175 horsepower.
Yeah,
and that's not a bad thing at all.
No, I'm sure, we like that engine pairing in there. It works well for it.
Yep, it's a nice combination of power and fuel economy. If you're going to be buying an Equinox, I'm sure a lot of people are going to be doing a lot of daily commuting. They're not looking for a sports car. They're looking for solid performance that gets good fuel economy on a daily basis. Yep. And that's exactly what that 1.5 liter is designed to do.
Yeah, so not getting Super Cruise in the Equinox.
Not
which,
yet.
It makes sense, but
At least that's for the launch of 2025 with this new model. This is the one of these three SUVs that were crossovers that we're talking about that does not get Super Cruise. I, again, would assume that as time goes on, like the connected camera system in the Tahoe, you're going to see this expand. I'm pretty sure within the next 5 or 10 years, every General Motors model that is on sale is going to have Super Cruise as an option.
Yeah, they're making obviously a huge push for all of these features to end up being standard, and the safety features that they're including in all the crossovers and SUVs that are getting refreshed are amazing. And
that's another thing to bring up here.
We've talked about a lot of them, but then there's also a whole slew more of safety features that are going to be standard across all of the crossovers.
Yeah, not only on the Traverse, but on the Tahoe, the Suburban, and the Equinox. Chevy has Chevy Safety Assist, I think is what they call it.
Chevy Safety Assist includes, you ready? Automatic emergency braking.
That's awesome.
Which is,
so if somebody stops quickly in front of you,
someone stops short on you, it's going to actually physically apply the brakes for you and probably definitely prevent you from hitting the car in front of you.
Okay.
You got forward collision alert, which is a similar system. It's kind of in the same vein.
They work in conjunction with each other.
Yeah, but you're going to get like an audible and a flash, kind of a warning system before it's going to come in and take control.
All right.
But this one I like. So we've had some pedestrian systems where you get notified of a pedestrian, but they're actually going to be adding bicyclists to that as well.
Oh.
So yeah,
our ZR2, our Silverado 1500 ZR2, when you drive through a parking lot or if there's somebody walking alongside of the road, I know this happens a lot when I'm picking up or dropping off my son at school in that truck. If it sees somebody walking in front of you, it'll give you a little icon in the gauge cluster that it has detected a pedestrian in front of you. Are you telling me now it's going to be able to detect if somebody's on a bike too?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, pedestrians aren't the only people out there.
I would say probably people on bikes are more prevalent.
Depending on where you live, absolutely. If you're in the city, I mean, there's definitely a lot of bicyclists around, and so
it has emergency braking then.
I think so. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not positive on that, but I would think that would be part of that collision system that would kick in and brake for you. You also get the distance follower. Let's see. You also get the following distance indicator.
Which has been around for a few model years, but it's basically a display in your gauge cluster that will tell you how many seconds the vehicle in front of you is. It's a good way to know if you're following somebody too closely.
Yeah, we all do it. I mean, it's a bad habit, and it's nice to have a system that kind of brings your attention to it. And in our Silverado, it literally tells you how many seconds you are behind the vehicle in front of you.
And it changes color too. If you get too close, it'll give you a little icon that indicates you're too close to the vehicle in front of you.
Yeah, so you just you're too close if it's red, and if you're far enough away, it's green. And of all the things that you can implement into your own driving that makes you a safer driver, this has got to be right up there. I mean, people overestimate their ability to react.
Well, and people don't get in the car and go, I'm not going to drive safely today. It's always, they're distracted or it's an accident. No one ever tries to be a bad driver.
So to have
these little reminders to help you kind of like
nudge you to make better driving decisions in ways that aren't distracting or annoying
or annoying. Yeah.
So that's really cool. I like that feature in the ZR2. So it's exciting to see it literally across all of Chevy's models. So
and do things like lane departure, is that included?
That's also included. Lane keep assist and lane departure warning. So not only are you going to get a little audible indicator that you are crossing the line,
or if you have the right model, your seat will vibrate underneath of you.
Yeah, Zane likes to drive over the line, so his seat
get a nice little seat massage because it just buzz. No, but in all seriousness, if you happen to cross over like the yellow line, the left side of your seat will buzz. If you get up against the white line, the white or the right hand side will buzz. It's pretty useful. I know, like I said, people don't try to not be in the center of their lane, but this will help them in an unobtrusive way drive with a little bit more safety.
We were just following somebody home from the ski area the other day, and they were just all over the lines. I couldn't believe it. I mean, to have a system like that that will give these nudges and say, hey, look, you're not keeping in your lane. And so the lane keep assist will actually turn the steering wheel and put you back into it. It gives not only just a nudge, it's like a pretty decent, what do we want to call it? Like
guidance.
Yeah, it jumps in and it corrects your steering. And so that's been a feature that's only been on premium vehicles, and it's been an expensive feature on a lot of other manufacturers. So that's an exciting addition to.
Well, I think it's also worth noting that all of these things, these are not nanny kind of items. You can turn them off. You can adjust their sensitivity. You don't have to get in and feel like your vehicle is driving for you or telling you you're a bad driver and is going to force you.
A lot of people aren't ready for all of that.
There are some situations where you don't want these things to be on. And there are other situations where it's better to have them on. And for you to be able to choose very quickly and unobtrusively whether or not the lane keep assist is running or what your gap to the driver in front of you before it tells you you're following too close is. And it's really nice. It makes it.
It's exciting that GM is so committed to bringing these features as a package and getting them standard across all the models. That's exciting. I think the consumers it's gonna resonate really well with the consumers. There's also IntelliBeam. Do you know what IntelliBeam is?
I can make a guess because I know that our Hummer and our ZR2 both have automatic high beam headlights. Is that what this is?
Yeah, that's all that it is.
Okay, so it'll turn the high. You can basically, if it works the same way as our current models, you can select a button and it'll automatically turn your high beams on and off.
Kind of a silly feature, but when you use it and get used to it and it works good.
I don't know. I mean, I've followed a lot or passed a lot of people who have forgotten to turn off their high beams. So I wish they had that active so they weren't blinding me as I was going down the road. And conversely, I know that, after 4 or 5 minutes with your high beams on, sometimes you forget. And it's just...
And you just stop using your high beams sometimes because it's like...
it's
annoying to have to turn them on and off.
And these systems have gotten really good. 10 years ago, when the first automatic high beam assist features started making their way into automobiles, they were terrible.
They did not work very well.
They didn't, and
they would turn on and off when there was a sign that it would catch a reflection from.
You would leave them off all the time because they did not work. But today in 2024, they've finally worked the kinks out of them. So again, to see something like that standard in a vehicle, especially on like an Equinox that is such a mass market model.
It stinks when you're buying a new vehicle and you've got all these options to choose from, and you got to figure out, I really want this one feature, and which package is that in? And now to get that feature, you've got to spend thousands of dollars to get 15 other features. It's just like, okay, everybody wants that feature now. Just make it standard, and that's what GM's doing, and it makes for a safer road for all of us. So, kudos to GM for doing that.
All right, so before we move on to our truck review portion of this show, Josh and I came up with a great idea that we would kind of have like a palate cleanser, right?
Yeah, it's called the Truck Stumper.
Yeah, a little interactive thing that's going to give you guys a chance to win some really cool swag provided by Bank Chevrolet. And
GM-Trucks
and
as
GM-Trucks.com as well.
We're going to throw some stuff in there as well.
Yeah, you're going to get a sweet swag box. And if you can answer this question successfully. So let's get into this.
Well, first of all, lawyers made us say this is in no way related to Car Talks Puzzler. That is strictly coincidence, and
there's no way that we might have copied from them in any way whatsoever.
Not possible.
So this week's Truck Stumper is as follows, and I'm going to read from this from the card just to make this easy for me. But in the Josh, maybe you listen to this because I didn't tell you the answer yet. So you listen to this and let's talk this out. In the early 2010s. engineers at General Motors embarked on a mission to tackle an age-old nemesis of pickup truck design, wind noise. With the launch of a new Silverado and Sierra, they introduced a subtle yet effective feature, cleverly designed to reduce the intrusive sounds of wind that often accompany high-speed travel. This feature, while hardly noticeable at first glance, played a pivotal role in enhancing the cabin's tranquility, making journeys more serene for drivers and passengers alike. This innovation didn't come from some of the usual suspects, though. Thicker windows, more insulation, there wasn't any of those. It didn't change anything that moves or contacts the road, like the tires or the suspension. Instead, it was a small addition to the truck's exterior in an area that most people often overlook. This feature worked not by blocking the sound coming into the cabin, but by outsmarting it. What was that feature? If you think you know the answer to this, please send us an email along with $100 in Bitcoin to Stumper at GM.
We got to pay for the swag somehow.
Stumper at GM-Trucks.com. And we are going to pick one lucky winner out of all the lucky winners, or the
with a priority to the one that includes.
Yeah, obviously, if you give us Bitcoin, you'll get
cash money.
Yeah, cash money, donations, prizes will come our way. The more chance you'll win. No, just kidding. But yeah, we have an awesome swag bag put together by Banks Chevrolet and GM-Trucks.com that the winner, randomly chosen among all people who got the answer correct, will get. And so, you know.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm not going to say too much. I mean, I have some ideas. You kind of dashed my hopes and dreams when you said none of the moving parts touching the road. That was kind of a big. I had a few ideas.
Yeah.
I still have a few ideas, but I
don't say them yet.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna keep them to myself.
It's a good one.
Yeah, I feel like if it's the idea that I'm thinking of, it's kind of obvious, but then I kind of feel like I'm probably going to be wrong. So we'll just wait and see what the answer is on when will we find out on
our next episode.
So
check back at our next episode. We will have not only the answer for this one, but a brand new Truck Stumper for you to enjoy.
All right, well, let's talk about our review vehicle of the week, which we had the luxury of driving, was a 2500 HD ZR2.
Yeah, the Silverado HD.
What a beast
ZR2.
of a truck. Wow.
Just amazing. I had my first experience driving the HD ZR2 last fall in Johnson Valley, California.
Yeah.
There's a lot of amazing desert off-roading, rocky places that you can take trucks out in California, and so
I'm jealous. What a great place to go and test that.
Oh, it's amazing! Just so much open land.
Yeah.
Something we don't really have here in New England. There's more trails and slow speed stuff here, but you can really explore the desert out there. So I guess the first thing we should talk about is, what is a ZR2?
Yeah, I mean, it's General Motors' ultimate off-road package, and it started out on the Colorado, and actually it started out, your first truck was a ZR2.
Yeah, the first truck I ever owned was a 1999 S10 ZR2, and it's kind of actually what prompted us to start GM-Trucks.com.
Yeah.
So
that was an
to
awesome
say that
truck.
ZR2s have a place in our heart would be a little maybe understating it.
Yeah.
We owe a lot of our career here now to that one.
That truck was awesome.
But what are ZR2s?
Yeah, I mean,
back to this.
It's the ultimate off-road package that you can get on the Colorado, the 1500, which we have as a test vehicle, and now, just very recently, you can get it on the HDs as well.
For the 2024 model year.
Is awesome. So what does it include? I mean, it's got a lot. There's a lot to it.
Yeah, there's a lot to it.
It's not an appearance package at all.
It is definitely not just an appearance package. The main thing you're going to find on all ZR2s is the Multimatic DSSV spool valve damping system, which we could spend a whole segment talking about.
We actually have a really great video that we're going to link down below that goes over how those shocks work. And
dampers.
shocks, dampers.
It's all the same thing. Shocks are dampers, dampers are shocks. I mean, it's all the same thing. But ZR2s, whether you're getting the Colorado, the 1500, or the HD, all have these very specialized, very highly technical, speed-sensitive dampers that adjust the level of damping based on how quickly that wheel is moving up and down. They're
awesome.
Really advanced technology.
They pretty much allow you to be able to go off road and soak up the bumps and all of that high speed zipping around, but then get on the highway and they're still really well behaved.
Or crawl over some rocks, slow speed, and still have.
They're very dynamic.
Yeah, very dynamic. And you're going to find them whether you get the Colorado, the Silverado 1500, or the HD ZR2. That is the keystone feature of
and they're the
ZR2
same shock,
lineup.
they're just tuned a little different inside.
Yeah, the Colorados are different, but the 1500s and the 2500 HD ZR2s have the same DSSVs in them. But when you start talking about the HD model, you're also, in addition to those shocks, you're getting a 1.5-inch lift, huge, massive 35-inch off-road tires that just give it this imposing, like, crazy look. It
looks good.
It looks really good.
And the rims are specific to the ZR2.
They are blacked out
really
ZR2
nice.
specific
like
rims. Also a unique ZR2 grille, which when you are in the Colorado and the 1500 is the flow tie. It's a airflow through red-rimmed bow tie.
Yeah, I thought at first glance it looked like a flow tie.
But in the HD, it's not. You and I called it what? A faux tie?
Yeah, we lovingly coined it the faux tie because it looks like a flow tie. But
it looks like a flow tie, but it's not. But still, it has the same look that you would find. There is a rear locking differential in it.
Yep.
And if you're going to go off road, what do you need to go off road?
Yeah, I don't know.
Red tow hooks.
So it had the red tow hooks.
It has the red tow hooks, which is an awesome feature. There's different drive modes, just like in the Silverado 1500 ZR2. And it's also worth noting that the HD ZR2 is only available in the 2500, not the 3500.
Yeah. Yep.
Engine-wise, what did we the one we
Yeah,
had?
so we drove the 6.6 diesel, which was wow. That thing was awesome. I personally would want to pay the extra money to get that engine.
That was a $9,000 option, though.
Yeah. But they say, supposedly, people have crunched the numbers, that if you do a certain amount of towing every
15,000 miles of towing
over
the life of your vehicle, it makes more sense to own a diesel.
That's a lot of towing, but then also not really if you're towing and taking any kind of...
It's also just an amazing engine.
That was great.
Over like 970 pound-feet of torque.
But you can also get the 6.6 liter gas engine as well in there. So that if you're buying that truck, that's probably the biggest decision you're going to make, is whether you want to spend the extra cash and get the diesel.
Yep. The HD ZR2 that we had also had the technology package, which gave you the digital rear view mirror and the 360-degree camera system, adaptive cruise control, which are amazing features if you're going to be doing some more highway driving or daily driving. And it also had the $2,000 power retractable steps.
Yeah, let's talk about those a little bit.
Let's talk about those.
I can't imagine not having them because, I mean, I'm a pretty tall guy. I'm like 6'1", and I was glad that those steps were there, because without them, you're climbing into with that extra 1.5-inch lift on there.
But when you go off road, they may not be so awesome.
Well, how would you know about that exactly?
So the trip that I took, where I got to drive the HD ZR2 in California, out of, I think we had 8 or 10 HD ZR2s in our group.
Yep.
Half of them had lost at least one of the power running boards. It got ripped off. They're not exactly...
They're not rock sliders.
They're not rock sliders. We tried to use them.
That terrain, though, like you said, that was not exactly your,
It was
grandpa's
really extreme. It was more than 99% of people would ever use for their HDs.
Rocks, you were like driving on the side of a cliff practically.
Basically, yes.
Which we have great video of that, so why don't we show that below, and You can see.
Yeah, like it'll blow your mind what we did. And like I said, it's more than 99% of what owners would actually try to attempt with this vehicle. Yeah. But the thing is that it literally, other than the power running boards, it did no damage to the vehicle. We were bouncing the bottoms off rocks. We were sliding over. Skid plates came into play.
Big time.
And if you are going to be doing that kind of stuff on a daily basis, there is the AEV Bison Edition ZR2, which adds even more protection, steel bumpers, hardened steel skid plates. So, Chevy has thought of it all pretty much.
It also adds a lot of weight. So if you're gonna get the Bison, then you probably want to make sure that you're going to be using it for what it's intended to, because I think it adds like 300 pounds of weight or something.
Yes.
Like that. So.
But even with all of these off-road accessories, you don't really lose out on what the HDs are made for, and that's towing and hauling.
And yep.
The HD ZR2, at least the one we drove, was rated for 18,000 pounds of towing.
Yeah, wow.
It's a slight reduction over the other models, but if you're going to be doing some off-roading, then you got to have some give and take. It also could hold up to 3,400 pounds of payload, which blows my mind, because in our 1500, you put a couple hundred pounds in the bed and it starts to sag.
Yeah.
We actually hooked up. Right, we hooked up our 30-foot trailer
and towed with it.
And
it wasn't even like it wasn't there.
Yeah,
I mean,
we couldn't even tell.
Yeah, our 1500 can tell when that 30-foot trailer is on it, but that HD was just.
And we had a Polaris side by side in the trailer too.
Yeah.
So there was probably 3,000 or 4,000 pounds in that trailer.
Yep. And another option that you can get, and was on our tester, was the factory goose
fifth wheel gooseneck prep package.
Yeah, which is only like $575.
Yes, it adds all of the mounting points for a fifth wheel. It adds in-bed electrical connectors for trailering. Considering that if you were to add that after the fact, you'd have to be taking the bed off.
You'd at least spend that. So.
You would spend a lot more doing that. I would say
if we were to buy that truck, you would have to recommend getting that right out the gate.
Just get it. Don't even think about it. Always get the fifth wheel prep. Would be my recommendation. But then the other thing that I really noticed is driving on a daily basis, those DSSV dampers made the highway travels, the expansion joints. That ZR2 HD did not kind of bounce around like a normal HD would unloaded. It was extremely smooth and comfortable.
Yeah, it's where those dampers really shine. In our land, we have a little off-road kind of test area set up, and we had our Hummer out there a week prior, and we really chewed up the ground, and it was soft, and we left a bunch of ruts, and all of that froze up for when we were out testing with the HD ZR2.
Yeah, we almost thought twice about driving through there, because you're talking about 6-8 inch little things and 30 of them in a row, because we were doing donuts.
Yeah, and when you drove over them, the HD just soaked it up. It's where those dampers really shine, and we just barely scratched the surface at what that truck is even capable of doing in our land. So
yeah, and with the 35-inch off-road tires going through 6-8 inches of fresh snow, was no problem.
If you're looking for like the ultimate truck and you still want to be able to tow,
this is it.
Yeah, GM finally has the answer for it, and it's exciting. We love the chance to drive it around. We love
our 1500.
They had to grab it from my grasp, and the other journalists weren't too happy when they got it, and it was like just covered in dirt, and all the wheel wells had mud in it. But hey, you got to test them out.
We actually tested it for what it's supposed to be tested for.
Yep.
Cool. So thumbs up on it?
Oh yeah, definite 2 thumbs up on the Silverado HD ZR2.
Silverado ZR2. Yep. Silverado HD ZR2.
Yep. All right. Well, that's it. That's the show.
Nobody ran across the street and shut off the cameras and told us to get out.
We haven't been canceled yet. Thanks for watching. Again, this was our first time, and we're really grateful to be here at the Banks Chevrolet studio in Concord, New Hampshire. One thing I want to mention is we're not only is Banks awesome, we know it because we've been purchasing trucks there for many years, and
we have purchased so many vehicles. Maybe that's why they're giving us a show. So what, you buy 100 cars, you get a free podcast?
I guess
basically?
so, yeah.
Yeah, all of our buying experiences with Banks has been just
Yeah, from
amazing.
From buying to maintenance and just through the entire life of the vehicle, Banks has been great. And so, if you're interested in buying a vehicle, definitely check out banksautos.com. If you like the show, GM Joyride, we invite you to like and subscribe this video and to this channel.
Yeah, visit GM-Trucks.com.
Yep, we have a forum with over 1 million monthly users visiting every month. So if you have any questions on your truck or you're interested in buying a vehicle and you want to ask some questions, that's also a great resource as well. So thanks for joining us on GM
We
Joyride.
did it. Nobody canceled us.
Yeah, we're still here. And hopefully we'll be back in for next episode in about a month or so. So see you then.
Thanks a lot. See you then.